Over the past 2 weeks, I've been using the Hytopia SDK to create my first ever video game for their first ever game jam. So in this video, I'm going to show you what I made, talk a little bit about how I made it, and probably share a few other thoughts along the way. By the way, if you don't know me, my name is Ash, and on this channel, I talk about all things Hytopia. That includes things like news, SDK tutorials, gameplay videos, and any other thing that I think might be relevant to the ecosystem, which I have a feeling is going to start ramping up pretty quickly. So I'm going to be here through it all, trying to do my best to keep you informed and also inspired to make really cool stuff. So just for a little bit of context, the game jam lasted for 14 days. So over the last 2 weeks, a handful of developers have been making games to submit, and the theme was freestyle. So you really could make anything you wanted using the SDK, which was a really great place to start, especially for someone like me with literally zero development experience. I could come up with some idea that I felt like was attainable and still have it qualify for this jam. So jumping into Cursor, we've got all of my code for the game, and then in addition to this main index TypeScript file, I've got a few other files that I use to separate out some mechanics to just make this file a little bit cleaner. So I'm importing all of those things here, and that's things like my power-ups, my partner system, the courses that people run in the game, things like that. Okay, jumping into the game, it is now the next day because my audio got messed up yesterday, so we're doing it again. No big deal. The name of the game is Volcano Dash, and it says work shifts absorbing energy from the lava chamber. Be careful not to overheat. And then it has a place where you can enter your name. This won't always be necessary, but for now, until Hytopia integrates HiPlay, all the usernames are like player, dash, and a bunch of numbers, which isn't really helpful for my partner system, which I'll show you in a minute. So I'm going to enter my name, Ash, and I'm going to enter the server. You can see on the left-hand side, we've got a bunch of instructions, how you move, some tips, and then also it kind of directs you to the chat command. So I can do /about, which will bring up a little bit of lore for the game, and also kind of tells you what to do. So as a Voltec operator, you will be transported into a high-risk volcanic chamber to siphon raw geothermal energy using a specialized suit. The longer you last in the chamber, the more energy you harvest for the company. And then it says, if your heat level rises too high, you will be automatically transported out of the chamber. So that's the premise of the game. You go in the chamber, last as long as you can, and when you overheat, you get transported out. And then we've got another chat command that says /tips, which gives you a little bit of insight into some of the game mechanics. So the first one is to work with a partner. So there's a partner system in the game that lets you, while you're queuing, choose someone to partner with for that round. And when you have an active partner, one that hasn't overheated, you can teleport to them using Q in the game. So if you're about to overheat and you want to use Q to teleport to your partner who's in a safer location, you can do that. Or if you're both pretty good players, you can use it to like strategically position yourself to maximize both of your scores. The second tip is energy clusters. If you stand inside of an energy cluster, you harvest energy at a faster rate. So if you stay in these places, your score will go up faster, but you're also putting yourself at risk because the longer you stay there, the closer the lava is getting to you. And then the third tip is the supercharge stations, which are slightly harder to reach places that you have to go to, hold down a key, and then when it completes its cycle, you'll 2 extra points at the point of completion. And then each station can only be used once. So those are the tips. Now let's look at the environment for a minute. You might have seen my last video where I talk about how to make custom blocks in Hytopia, where you kind of saw some of these blocks that you can now see in the game. So I made all of these in Blockbench and imported them in just to get more of that volcano-y type of feel. And then we have some NPCs walking around. This guy is using like the simple pathfinding logic, and then this guy is letting you know that this is the practice room. So we'll take a look at that really fast. The practice room is here so that you have a place to hang out while you're waiting for the next round to start. So, for example, if you queue up into a round and you lose like right away, you get kicked out right away, you can go over here and practice the jumps that you missed or whatever that caused you to get extracted. And then finally we have the join NPC. It says join the next shift, come close to grab your gear, and then it gives you a reminder again of the movement keys. So I'm going to do that. Before I do, I'm actually going to put a second player in the game. Okay, so now we have 2 players in the game, so I'm going to queue up with both of them. This first one is queued up and saying to select a partner. You can see he's got his cool suit now. The second guy is going to queue up, and then now you can see that each one has an option to select a partner. So I'm going to request over here and accept it here, and now the partnership's formed, and we're going to transport into the arena in just a second. All right, now that we're in here, I'm going to get this guy up to safety, and you can see the guy on the right is starting to like be in danger. So I'm going to select him, and I'm going to transport, and now you can see he is in a safe location. All right, so that was the partner system, and now I'm gonna just run the course and try to get us up to the top. All right. Sit here for a second. Not too long though, just to give myself a little bit of a buffer. Just gonna wait. Okay. I am gonna try to hit this one again. I know it's dangerous, but can sit here for a second, but not too long, and then here's another supercharge station at the top. And I did have a little extra time. I could have come over here for a second first. Okay, so now that it's done, you can see the lava starts draining. It says, congratulations, you survived the shift. And that's gonna transport me out to try again. And that's the game. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm proud of it. My kids love lava rising games, so I kind of made this because I know they like to play these types of games. And that's actually one of the reasons why I added the teleport mechanic, was because my 6-year-old was afraid that the game was going to be too hard for her. So I was thinking, okay, so what can I do to make it to where she can play a little bit easier? So I can partner with her in the game now, and I can make some of the more difficult jumps, and then she can just teleport to where I am. So that's kind of how that came about. This was a lot of fun though. I really enjoyed doing it. I pushed myself. One of the cool things about the Hytopia SDK is, even though I don't have any development experience at all, every idea that I had in my head that I wanted to make for this game, I was able to do pretty easily between the SDK documentation and then having Cursor AI to do the majority of the heavy lifting for me in terms of the TypeScript coding. But those two things together are super powerful for someone to be able to bring their ideas to life, even if they have no experience at all. Or if you have a lot of experience and you just want to be able to bring your ideas to life quicker, obviously these tools make that possible as well. So I think the team is planning on putting up all the Game Jam submission games onto servers somehow that everyone can play. So I'll definitely try to show you guys some of the other games that are being submitted. There's a lot of really cool stuff being worked on. So stay tuned for that. And then I think the next video I'm going to do tutorial wise is just show you how you can actually use Cursor AI, like the setup, prompt engineering, the difference between the chat and the composer, things like cursor rules and all those types of things that I've learned along the way of doing this. I'm going to try to make a really comprehensive video next that shows all of that stuff, especially for those of you who have no experience and want to make games with the SDK and don't really know how to use Cursor effectively. That video is going to be for you. So stay tuned for those things. I hope you enjoy the game. I hope you get a chance to play it. And with all of that said, I'll see you in the next one.